All right. Coming at you week 5 of my messages to Jason Moore. And I'm behind by several days. I missed the weekend. I completely forgot about doing this. There's just been a lot obviously going on with the holidays and such. So I made a mistake, but I guess better late than never, since I am promising to do this every week for the foreseeable future, maybe 10 weeks. Oh, I don't know. If you have been following the videos or not, I don't know if anyone will ever be following these videos, but just recap, I wanted to send a message to Jason Moore every week. He's the host of the Zero to Travel podcast, which is my favorite travel podcast. I've been listening to him for over 2 years, and I never have heard from him. I've written to him a few times and never heard back from him. So I was like, all right, he really wants voice messages. I'm going to give him what he wants, voice messages. I'm going to record a message for him every week and just put myself out there. Maybe he'll get to know me a little bit. Maybe he'll finally respond to me. And then in week 2, he responded to me on my second message to him. And not only did he respond to me, but he put me in his podcast, put my message in his podcast. So it was kind of like, since the second week, it's kind of been like anticlimactic. Like, where do I go from here? So I think I'm at least going to do this for 10 weeks. Let him, if he is listening to these, let him get to know me a little bit more. I'm going to try and give him some things that might be some good ideas. I don't know, try to give him some reason to listen to me, but maybe I'm not doing that very well, and we'll see. Oh yeah, and so then my new goal, but this is not going to happen in these 10 weeks, but my new goal long term is to, at the end of next year, I'd like to be on his podcast. Once I move to Asia, I'd like to be on his podcast at some point. And so that's not going to happen in the short term, but at least maybe now he'll get to know me and that seed will be planted in his head. And maybe 1 year from now, he will invite me onto his podcast. Who knows? So anyway, all right, I've got to record a message to him. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say, but I no longer have the pressure of trying to get his attention. I no longer have the pressure of trying to have something profound. I'm just going to be talking off the cuff. So here we go. What's up, Jason? It's your boy Max from Florida, sending you another audio message. This week, I guess what's on my mind is your last podcast. So this is the last podcast from last week, where you had a guy on to talk about play, and he has a company to help corporate offices and office environments incorporate more play into their employees' lives. And I thought that was so cool. And in particular, it hit home for me because I am a big fan of Tony Hsieh, and I don't know if you know about him or the news recently, but he tragically and surprisingly passed away at the young age of 46, and so that's been rocking me and my wife, our lives in particular, because my wife, while she did not know Tony personally, she was very closely connected to him because she worked for his one of the companies that he co-founded. It's the company that he's not best known for, but it's the concept that he's best known for, and that is delivering happiness. So Tony Hsieh, he was the CEO of Zappos for almost 2 decades, and he grew that company into a multi-billion-dollar company acquired by Amazon, and he also wrote this book called Delivering Happiness because it was sort of his Bible for growing Zappos, focused on customer, but more importantly, employee happiness. And so his book's called Delivering Happiness because that was the most important thing to him was delivering happiness to the customer and delivering happiness to his employees. And it's that company culture that was instrumental in the growth of Zappos, and also in him kind of fulfilling this destiny. Man, this is a really bad recording, and it's already gotten to be 2.5 minutes. So I'm gonna this is gonna be my first time ever, but for this live stream, I'm just gonna start my recording over, and I've got to just get to the point right away. So maybe winging it isn't always the best. I try to keep these audio messages to like 1.5 to 2 minutes at the longest. So let's do it again. Let's do it again, shall we? Yes. Let's. All right. Take 2. Hopefully this is better. Now I'm starting to feel pressure. I don't want to have to do it a third time. That'd be so embarrassing. All right, here we go. What's up, Jason? It's your boy, Max, sending you another audio message. And this week, I guess what I wanted to talk about is because of the last podcast, from last week, you had a guy on talking about his, consulting company, all about play and incorporating play into the office structure and lives of employees in a corporate setting. And it just reminded me of something some very recent and fresh news over here in the US, at least. I don't know if you're familiar with Tony Hsieh, but there's a very legendary CEO and the business leader, thought leader, who passed away shockingly and tragically at the end of November. And Tony Hsieh was best known for being the CEO of Zappos during its like mega growth period into a multi-billion-dollar company. And when Tony's company Zappos merged with Amazon, this effectively got bought out by Amazon, but they called it a merger. He wrote a book about that entire journey called Delivering Happiness. And the reason for that name was because he was so focused on delivering happiness, not just to clients, but to his employees. And he really, really wanted the company culture to reflect that. And so I know that your guest, certainly his goals and mission is very much aligned with those of Tony Hsieh's. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to him because he was somewhat of a role model to me and certainly to my wife. And my wife actually works for the company, the consulting company called Delivering Happiness, which Tony founded back in 2010. And so that's really hit close to home and rocked us. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. And I hope you're doing well. Next week is right around the corner, but I'll have another message for you then. Hey, kind of stumbled there, and that went too long again. I kind of want to do it again. I don't know. I kind of want to do that again, but it's okay. It's okay for it to be a little bit long. It's okay, I guess. I mean, the reason why I wanted it to be 1.5 minutes or so is because if he wanted to use it in his podcast, I wouldn't want it to be too long, but he's not going to use these for his podcast. So this is just me speaking to him. And as long as he is okay with me wasting 2 minutes of his time, then I am okay with it as well. I'm going to send it. Anyway, peace out, YouTube. I'll be back next week.